Thank you for clicking on Life in the 1900s newspapers, where I read the actual words from vintage newspapers. Today, we're in the roaring 20s. And in this era, there was nothing more important than your automobile. They would make a great Christmas gift. People were enjoying the novelty of going further than they ever could before, and it became one of the family. But those 1920s cars came with a lot of maintenance.
In the 20s, touring in a gas buggy was a wonderful adventure, full of excitement, fun, and flat tires. Tires didn't last very long either, 2,000 miles if you were lucky. Roads were rough, many unpaved, cars smaller, slower, lighter. Tires were different, tall and skinny with narrow treads. These tires couldn't stand up to the constant flexing.
Today, we're in small-town America in Martinsburg, West Virginia, reading the Martinsburg Journal, dated November 3rd, 1928. First highway sleeping car due here Sunday afternoon, on trip through immediate historic section. Washington, November 3rd. The first highway sleeping car to enter the national capital will arrive on Saturday night at 1421 Pennsylvania Avenue, where a National Union coach depot has been opened to meet the needs of a growing continental highway traffic. This first motor stage sleeper, designed and built in the shops of the Pickwick Stages in Los Angeles, affords in regular service sleeping quarters, often 26 passengers together with complete dining service. The new car, it is pointed out, resembles nothing else ashore or afloat, streamlined from prow to stern for beauty and swiftness, with rows of portholes and large plate glass windows. It has been likened to a blue and gray submarine on soft rolling balloon tires. Each stateroom has an adjoining dressing space with ample standing room curtained off from the rest of the car, in which compartment there is a wash basin with running water and a thermos jug of ice water, refinements not found in other sleepers. The deep chair cushions are utilized to form comfortable berths at night and are made up with mattresses and snowy linen by a highway Pullman porter. Heating and ventilation are provided by a fan-controlled system. The new sleeper is 34.5 feet long, with a width of 8 feet and a height of 10 feet and 3 inches. Cars in collision. James Fritz of Pikesdale and Holland Miller, waiter at the Sanitary Restaurant, were drivers of two automobiles that collided in front of the Journal office Friday night about 8 o'clock. Fritz, driving a Ford Touring, was pulled away from the curb when Miller's Essex, headed west on King Street, rammed into him. Police Officer Cook, summoned, stated he believed Fritz was at fault. Miller's car suffered a broken running board and a bent fender, while the Ford escaped undamaged. REO Speed Wagon records still climbing. At 11:20 a.m. October 18th, more speed wagons had been shipped in 1928 up to that minute than had been shipped in the best previous entire year. This shows the increased popularity of this already very popular and dependable truck. Now Scarlet Youth on the road to ruin. A flaming warning to parents of America. Wild parties, sporty apartments, closed cars in shady lanes, free love. See Modern Youth Exposed. Wednesday and Thursday, November 7th and 8th at the Apollo Theater. Special note, no one under 18 admitted unless accompanied by adults. Matinee prices, 15 and 25 cents. Evening prices, 25 and 35 cents.
Sorry I didn't take you right home?
No, I'm glad. It's lovely here.
Gee, Ann, you're sweet. You like your Uncle Tommy just a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
Look.
Where?
There.
Tommy, you mustn't.
All right, baby. I'll be good.
Screen Life in Hollywood by Wade Werner. The Hollywood Mausoleum, where Rudolph Valentino's body lies, is becoming a world shrine. Pilgrims from all parts of the earth continue to visit the place, and many who cannot come in person send wreaths. Women still weep in the little alcove. The caretaker estimates 100,000 persons have visited Valentino's crypts since he died a little more than 2 years ago. Albert Valentino, brother of the famous Rudolph, at last has made his debut on the screen. Rumors that he would be seen in motion pictures began to be heard shortly after Rudolph's death several years ago. Some months back, it got around that Albert was having his nose reshaped by a plastic surgeon to give him a better profile for pictures, and incidentally, to heighten the resemblance between himself and the late star. Here's a couple of things you don't see advertised anymore. For sale, good strong flour sacks. Caskey's Bakery, East Race Street. Orthophonic Victrolas, Eastern Gift Shop, 134 South Queen Street. We are equipped to repair and service any radio set built. We can build your favorite circuit. The Radio Shop, People's Trust Building. A London movie theater will employ only red-headed girls as usherettes and has engaged 20 of them. One-man rally. One colored man, William Pulpus, showed up Friday night for the rally of colored Democrats at Hedgesville. J.W. Walker of Bunker Hill had been advertised to address the rally, and the speaker showed up on time. Also, William Pulpus. Tales of the Road. Hey, Tommy, leave go of that car while you still can. He's using Tidal gasoline. What a takeoff! Tidal's pickup is so fast and smooth that it's like the takeoff of an airplane. And in these first few seconds, you get a taste of the power and pep that ruin you forever for not-so-good fuels. For Tidal turns new customers into old customers with a single filling. Tidal gasoline at Jim Oil Company. Some things never change, like advertisements to sell you a car. And now, Oakland presents an all-new All-American 6. Such glorious performance as you've never known before. Soaring top speed, 70 miles an hour and more. Such balance, such smoothness, such silence, such poise. Braking ease from its new internal expanding four-wheel brakes, individually adjusted, requiring minimum pressure for a sure, silent, velvet smooth stop. Have your highest expectations realized.
These men are preparing a virgin Chevrolet Impala for sacrifice on the altar of the great god advertising. The car will be towed out, chained to a rock in the sea, and shot by a camera. A commercial like this one they're making runs for 1 minute on television and costs perhaps $30,000. When you buy a car for $3,000, about $6,250 of that is to pay for what it cost the company to interest you in the car in the first place. You may say to yourself, I'm never going to park my car on a wet rock 200 yards out in the ocean. Advertising is nonsense. Well, we're all in on that. Advertising may be nonsense, but it's beautifully done, and it's the way we like to be advertised at. Almost everyone will recognize the result of all this labor, which introduced the '65 Chevrolet to a waiting world.
Chevrolet, the beautiful shape for 1965.
The car commercials all promise a lot besides transportation. What they do is they find out what our dreams are and play them back to us. Maybe we should be dreaming about improved safety equipment, but most of us aren't. What we are dreaming about is love, beauty, freedom, fun, luxury, speed, class, and sex appeal. You name it, their cars will give it to you.
A New Yorker at large. Portentous sounds issue from the interior of the Belasco Theater. Carpenters rip and saw and hammer on the stage. Electricians labor over spotlights and model sets in a basement laboratory. In a subsurface rehearsal room, Lenore Ulric and her principal colleagues in a cast of 100 persons go through their lines for hours at a time. Miss Ulric has been working on her new drama called Mima, an adaptation of The Red Mill by Fernick Molnar. The contract for the remodeling of the stage for Mima involves expenditures of $40,000 and calls for completion of the task within 4 weeks. '20s stage actress Lenore Ulric was famous for playing vamps. Thanks for watching my channel. We'll see you next time. Oh, and don't forget, when you're on the road, make sure you know all the hand signals to stay safe.
All of us are the other fellow. And when we all realize that we are the other fellow to everybody else, we'll all keep out of trouble by letting him know what we're going to do next. This is the correct way to signal the other fellow that you are going to stop. This is the way to signal that you're going to pull over or make a turn to the right. This is the signal when you are going to turn to the left. This is the way to say you are going to slow up for an intersection. This is the way to signal the fellow behind that it is safe to pass. Use these hand signals. Always show the other fellow what you're going to do next. Give him the hand brakes. It'll save on the foot brakes and make the other fellow a safe and satisfactory companion on our streets and highways.